Welcome to Not Entirely Unlike Tea with Christine Collins. Hey there, it's Christine Collins, and I've got for you today a way to begin to meld together some of the mindset tools that you may already have. And even if you don't have or use the tools that I'm describing today, it may give you some ideas for kind of layering your mindset tools that you already are using. And sometimes we can fall into thinking that one tool will solve all issues. My experience, both as a practitioner and as the occasional consumer or client myself, is that I actually really prefer to have many different tools that I can layer. Because some tools are more appropriate for some situations and work better in certain scenarios. So just to give you an example, using the tools that I'm familiar with and that I offer services around, I'm a certified master level hypnotherapist, and I'm also a certified EFT practitioner. Those happen to be two of my favorite tools, but I also love using tools like visualization, meditation, Reiki, counseling, coaching, and NLP. And while if you only had one of those things, you could certainly use it for many or most situations, it really does help to have more clarity on which situations they might be better suited for. So for example, hypnosis really requires that you can be in a safe space with your eyes closed, and even better if you can be laying down or reclined. Now, it's not absolutely essential that you're reclining, but it is essential that you are in a safe space and you are not trying to do hypnosis or listen to a hypnosis audio whilst you are doing something potentially dangerous, such as driving a vehicle or cooking on a hot stove. Very unlikely people would be doing those things, but I do like to just start out by saying that. Hypnosis is designed to take you down into deeper brainwave states that get you very deeply relaxed. And if you happen to be sleep deprived, as many people sometimes are, there is a chance that you'll fall asleep. Now, in terms of the hypnosis service itself, that's not really a problem. But if you've got a candle burning or an unattended stove, that's not a good situation. So hypnosis should be used in a safe setting. Ideally, you can close your eyes. It is a very powerful tool when you are able to create that situation for yourself. The hypnotherapist has designed and customized a hypnotherapy experience that will guide you down gently into a deeper brainwave, usually through imagery and guided visualization. And then once you are in that deeper brainwave and in that deeply relaxed state where you become more suggestible, they will begin telling a new story about the new beliefs that you are wanting to adopt, at which time you'll be much more open to those new ideas because of the state that you're in. It's equally important that you complete it and allow yourself to be counted out at the end. So all of these pieces require a certain type of setting. Now, hypnosis can be deeply soothing and relaxing, and an incredibly wonderful antidote to anxiety, as I've experienced myself. But there are lots of moments where we're having anxiety and hypnosis is not appropriate. For example, you're out at an event somewhere with some extended family or some people that you don't know very well or people that make you a little uncomfortable, and you've just snuck off to the bathroom for 5 minutes to get a minute alone to yourself. What do? That is the perfect moment for a tool like EFT, also known as tapping. It stands for Emotional Freedom Technique, and it is an incredibly powerful tool for soothing the central nervous system. It's also really handy because you can do it in like a 5-minute period if that's all you have. So if you are in one of those challenging scenarios and you can sneak off to the restroom, doing a few minutes of tapping can really help to calm you down, take the edge off of your anxiety or frustration or anger or whatever you're experiencing, and help to get you back to a more regulated state. Now, of course, there are other ways to use it, such as working with a practitioner, working through deeper, more challenging issues, delving into the realm of previous experience and trauma and other types of obstacles. And it's highly useful for regulating the nervous system. if I'm having a particularly off day, one thing I like to do is pair them up together. Do a few rounds of tapping on whatever's bothering me. So if I'm feeling worried or concerned or upset about something, I might tap for a few minutes first before I go into my hypnosis. And that helps me to be able to turn my hypnosis session into something that is more relaxing and luscious because I've already calmed down prior to getting into that state. You can also pair hypnosis with visualization, which is another one of my personal favorite combinations, and it's deeply powerful to go down into that hypnotic state where you're deeply relaxed, you're more open-minded, more creative, better at solving problems, and be able to play with and visit with different ideas using visualization to perhaps fast forward ahead into what you might create in the future. Or if you have a specific goal or desire, you can visualize that for yourself, a future version of you having that experience. And one of the things that visualization does really well is that it kind of gets recorded in a similar way to memory in terms of the way that your mind records that experience. And in experiencing that vision in your mind, it can help to make it feel familiar to your nervous system, because a lot of times when we encounter a new experience for the first time in real life, our nervous system gets a little bit riled up, like, ooh, is this dangerous? Is this unsafe? So like the first time you start making money in your business, for example, the first client you get, but it can trigger all of these self-doubts and worries, and is this really going to stick? Is this for real? If you have visualized it and practiced having that experience first, your nervous system is less likely to act up when it starts to actually happen for you. So visualizing the things that you deeply want. You want to earn more money, you want to have more clients, you want your content to be more successful, you want to have particular types of relationships or friendships or interactions, you want to feel a certain way, you want to achieve a specific thing. There's research around using it for performance, and certainly it's been used in capacities for athletics and the Olympics and things like that. And by doing repetitions in your mind, and you can do very short little repetitions of like 5 to 10 seconds of performing something specific, the brain loves repetition for laying down new neural pathways. So the more exposure you have to a new idea, a new behavior, a new practice, a new experience, the smoother the process of that neuroplasticity, those new pathways being built. And for the same reason, the recorded hypnosis is incredibly valuable because you have the opportunity to be exposed over and over and over again to those hypnotic suggestions that have been very carefully crafted and recorded for you in your hypnosis by your hypnotherapist. And by listening to them repetitively, your brain becomes familiar with the new message. And over time, a new neural pathway is being built for that new belief that you are trying to adopt. So if you're trying to change a story about yourself from, I'm not the type of person who can accomplish XYZ, I'm not the type of person who can achieve something specific, whether that's earning more money, having a better relationship, having positive interactions with your colleagues, whatever it is that the old story holds, the new story is going to be something like, I am the type of person who might have these experiences. And your mind begins to open up to the possibility of that becoming a reality for you. Something that you've never actually thought was possible for you. Oh, sure, maybe you've said it logically, but do you really believe deep down that it's actually possible? And thinking that something is impossible is one of the hugest barriers to beginning to move in that direction. We drive in the direction that we're looking. So whatever we're thinking about, whatever we're feeling, and whatever we're focused on, we're moving closer and closer towards that. So if you're walking around all day thinking something like, Other people can achieve that level of success, but not me. It's very unlikely that you'll take action steps in the real world towards that. But once you start to believe that it is possible for you, you might be more likely to accept an opportunity that's extended to you. You might be more likely to ask for an opportunity. You might be more likely to chase after something that's related to that goal. And even the micro decisions that you make every day, all day long, will be more likely to get you closer to that goal if you think it's possible for you, that you really could have that thing. And it doesn't have to go from 0 to 100. You just need to open the window up wide enough to let a little bit of light in, a little bit of possibility in, to where you're thinking, maybe there is a chance. It might seem like a slim chance today, but I do think that it is possible. If certain things happened, certain variables were in place, if I took certain actions and maybe had a little bit of help and obtained some resources, I at least think that there is a possibility that that could happen for me. And that's one of the things that hypnosis does. And then pairing that tool up with visualization, allowing yourself to experience it in your mind's eye first, can be a very powerful combination towards moving you closer to that goal. Now, other tools like meditation and mindfulness are also useful in different ways. Sometimes people confuse meditation and hypnosis, or they think that a meditation recording and a hypnosis audio are the same, but they are actually very different practices and they do different things. Tools like mindfulness can be incredibly useful for drawing awareness and attention to your thoughts, being capable of recognizing them from a space of being a casual observer instead of so totally bought in and invested in that story. It can be actually a fabulous way for you to target a belief that is holding you back or that feels outdated and maybe is ready for that upgrade. And once you've targeted that belief, you have something to work on with your hypnotherapist. So that's another way that you can combine tools together to make them even more powerful. The simple act of mindfulness alone is very powerful. Being capable of recognizing, observing, identifying, noticing yourself in the moment, noticing where your mind goes, noticing what triggered that emotion, tracing that emotion back to the thought that actually sent you into that emotional spiral, and then isolating that thought. Now you have all the power. You can decide what to do with that thought, especially if it's a recurring thought that you have really often. You now have a choice. Instead of it happening to you, you've sort of caught it out. You've noticed it, dragged it kicking and screaming into the sunlight. And if that thought doesn't feel good to you, doesn't feel constructive to you, doesn't feel like the type of thoughts that someone would have who is heading towards the goals that you want, you can change it. And that's not to suggest that it's easy to do, but the first step is noticing it, identifying it, recognizing it. And then once you have that, you can write it down, you can manipulate it, you can try editing it, and even more powerfully, you can take it into a hypnosis situation, have your hypnotherapist write a custom hypnosis script and record that for you around changing that belief system that you've identified. And if it's a common type of thought or thinking, there may be existing tools and audios and scripts that are already out there if you're not in a position to go and get a customized one. So as an example, I have a hypnosis membership that is filled with commonly experienced issues and challenges, things around feeling overwhelmed, feeling like I just can't get everything done, feeling angry, feeling stressed, struggling with confidence in yourself, second-guessing yourself, struggling with the belief that I can have the things that I'm working towards, I can have the results and the outcomes that I'm looking for, struggles around creativity and being able to generate new content ideas, struggles around motivation and focus. That's a really popular one. So all of those have been created with a common human experience in mind that many or most of us have experienced simply by being human, and even more so by becoming entrepreneurs. So there are lower cost tools that may be available to you that you can pair up with some of your other practices and layer them. And I love having the capability of choosing the appropriate tool to whatever the situation is that I'm in, or being capable of marrying them together for an even more powerful outcome. So I hope you found this to be helpful and insightful. And until we connect the next time, I wish you a most magical and creative rest of your day. Thanks for listening. This is Christine Collins at transformcreate.com.